Welcome to the October 2nd, 2020 video version of the Wagner Daily. My name is Rick Petticelli, and as usual, once a week, this video replaces the written commentary portion of our nightly report. Hopefully it serves as a nice change of pace, as well as offers some insight as to how we set up our charts, what time frames and indicators we use. And on this daily chart to the left here, we have a 9 EMA, a 20 EMA, a 50, and a 200. So the 9 and 20 are EMAs, the 50 and 200 are SMAs. And on the weekly, we have a 10 and 40 week SMA. We also have a 200 week SMA down below with the RS line. And the RS is relative strength versus the S&P 500. So first up, we're going to cover the price and volume action of the NASDAQ composite. Then we'll get into open positions in the model portfolio. And finally, we'll take a look at what's out there in terms of potential new setups. So onto the NASDAQ. And ever since the 921 reversal, the NASDAQ's held up. It has not gone lower. It is now in day 9 of its rally, but has yet to print a fall through day, which isn't ideal. However, we'd like to note that the price action is back above the 50 and also back above the 20 EMA, which might be tough to see. Let me make it a bit wider here. So the price action is back above the 50 and the 20 EMA, and the 20 EMA is now rising. So these are all positive signs, and we believe it's enough to not only add long exposure, but a significant amount. For the past week or so, we've had 2 to 3 positions, maybe 4, and we've put a few more on the past few days. So for anyone who likes to carry 10 positions, if you want to be full-sized with these positions and have full exposure up to 100%, that's fine. If you want to go on margin, and that's something you typically do, that's fine too. In the end, it's really up to you and your appetite for risk and what will allow you to trade comfortably. And on the weekly chart here, it pretty much just looks like a constructive pullback. We have 3 weeks down, followed by a 4th week, which is the reversal. And this week we're back through the rising 10-week moving average. So positive action here on the weekly chart as well. All right, as for open positions in the model portfolio, first up is pins, which is up about 17% from our entry on 922. So here's our entry. Unfortunately, we did get stopped out of half of the position, and due to this gap up here, was not able to add back the half we stopped out of. So we're stuck with basically, which is a quarter position, because we were trading everything with half size, and this was one of the first trades we put on. So we have a quarter position in pins, but it's better than nothing, and it's up 17%. FSLY, we're long from 89.35 back around here, and we added to the position on Thursday over Wednesday's high. And we know we have another small add in over the 100 level, which, if it can punch through that level on volume, could really spark the next rally. It could be at 120 in no time. CRWD, we're long from around 137.76. And had a little bit of a shakeout Wednesday morning, but it was a bullish gap down reversal where the price opened slightly beneath the prior day's low. And then it followed through to the upside on Thursday with a nice pickup in volume. We entered SC over Wednesday's high on Thursday, which moved higher in a pickup in volume, and we plan to add to the position as it moves higher. See the watch list for our specific entry there. NET, we're long from 40.87, which was the breakout above this swing high, and we'd like to add on the first pullback to the rising 9 EMA if we can. TDOC, we purchased partial size around this 92 area, and then we added on the breakout to new highs at 99, looking pretty strong. And from our average entry point, we're up about 7%. And finally, is TDOC, TDOC, which looks great, broke the downtrend line. It's holding up here. It just hasn't been able to extend past the swing high yet. It's just been chopping around or wedging higher. But I believe if it can get through this 2-bar high here, could be off to the races. As for new setups, first up is SNAP, which broke out to new highs. Volume wasn't tremendous, but does not have to come in right away, though we would prefer to see it come in the day we're buying. Maybe it comes in a few days later, but regardless, it did close above the breakout pivot. So one could either look for some sort of pullback on the open or just wait for the price to push through a Thursday's high for an entry. SQ, there's two entries here. We missed the 160 entry, so the next entry is over the base high. LMND, which is a fairly recent IPO. And this isn't a typical trade, but I'm just pointing it out for more aggressive traders. If the price action can get back through this, looks to be a 4-day high, it might be in play for a quick pop. Then we have MCRB, which tried to break out above the prior high, but failed and pulled back. The pullback's been on lighter volume. So if the price can get back through Thursday's high, look for a reversal. There's GSX, which if it can break this downtrend line and get above the 20-day EMA, might be good for a swing trade back to the prior high. And Sumo, SUMO, which is a fresh new IPO. Again, not something we normally do for an official trade, but for aggressive traders, we do like the back-to-back tight range days on light volume. A move through this 2-day high could lead to a quick pop. And the last setup of the night is NVIDIA. The earlier entry in NVIDIA was around 535. And there's the obvious entry around 590, but we look for some sort of 2 to 3 day pause or pullback into the rising 9 EMA as a potential lower risk entry point if one develops. And as you can see here, the RS line is already almost to new highs, so that's a bullish sign. All right, so that's a wrap for tonight's video. Thank you for joining me. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Sunday night with the Wagner Daily.